the good old boys. Never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw.
Hey, Joe Biden's calling me. Hello?
Hey, it's Joe Biden. It's me. I'm officially the new guy. I'm president. I'm the main guy. They counted all the collectors, and I won the big red one check.
So that's a little clip from Jimmy Dore's show, and that's Mike McRae. Mike McRae is the funny impressionist. He does a ton of them. Joe Biden, Brad Pitt, Bernie Sanders, and they do these fake interviews. And his impressions are fantastic, and his politics are on point. Mike McRae, seriously, acknowledged no, he doesn't. Mike McRae should be way more popular than what he is.
Force a vote on Medicare for All in the House of Representatives in order to prove that the establishment Democrats aren't real progressives. Now, this might sound appealing to a lot of people in the progressive base.
It does. This guy, he says, let's see, hashtag I am Sean90, hashtag TYT, hashtag Jimmy Dore. The name of the video is Jimmy Dore Attacks TYT. Jimmy Dore Attacks TYT. Okay, so he's, the YouTube channel is called Actual Justice Warrior. Not a social justice warrior, right? He's the actual justice warrior. This is a right-wing libertarian, just like Destiny, right? These right-wingers who hate us and hate our ideas and hate what we want to do with the nation. This libertarian is just going to be so selfless. Just so selfless and tell us how stupid force the vote is. Just, you know, he's just telling us it's just a, you know, intellectual thing about the strategy and the tactics and how it's not going to work. He doesn't offer any ideas of how it could work, but, you know, just selflessly explaining, you know, for us. He's letting us know it's a bad strategy so we can work on the strategy and then get a better strategy. That's probably what this libertarian is up to. Yeah, bullshit. He gives 3 bad reasons for force the vote, and I'll let him give his reasons, and then I'll respond to them. But, yeah, I don't believe a goddamn word. This motherfucker, the real justice warrior, bullshit. Bullshit. I don't believe a word this guy says.
But that's only something that sounds appealing if you accept a number of insanely false and stupid premises.
Premises?
That we've debunked in the past. And by the way, this is not my opinion as somebody...
He debunked it in the past, okay? Guys, he said it already. You didn't hear him? He's got to say it again? He already told you Medicare for All is stupid.
On the right. This isn't my opinion as a libertarian. What I'm giving you my opinion as is somebody that's in the camp that both Cenk and Jimmy Dore are in that they want Medicare for All passed into law. And I'm explaining why this is a bad strategy based on taking that position. First and foremost, the false assumption that is leading to them demanding this vote on Medicare for All is that the majority of the American people are in favor of a Medicare for All program. As we've talked about multiple times, despite the fact that the top-line poll numbers will indicate that the American people do support Medicare for All, whenever you delve into the specific polling on specific features of a Medicare for All program, it turns out that what people are actually saying they're in favor of is the public option, not Medicare for All as it's known to people who actually understand policy. You can look at the polling. I will link it in the description box below. But even among the Democrats...
It's called public option. To those who understand policy, this arrogant, stupid motherfucker, he is such a dick.
They are not in favor of Medicare for All. They much preferred Joe Biden's health care plan, which is to build on Obamacare and add a public option, to Bernie's Medicare for All plan.
This Democrat does not want the public option. This Democrat wants the Medicare for All plan, okay? And then he wants to say, well, Joe Biden won, so clearly America wants the public option. Bernie Sanders won the first 3 fucking elections, but he didn't have the media and the support. Where the hell is TYT to declare the victory? Jesus Christ, Joe Biden wins the 4th election. The media says he's the winner, and then everybody just goes along with it like that's how it's supposed to be. Huh. He won the 4th election? Well, that makes him the winner. Now, doesn't it?
By the way, this is why Bernie Sanders ended up losing to Joe Biden, because Joe Biden had the more popular health care plan. This
libertarian is so excited that Joe Biden beat out Bernie Sanders because it's like, even the Democrats don't even want Medicare for all. See, they kicked the guy who wanted Medicare for all's ass. They kicked him out, and they picked this right-winger. So clearly,
this is why Joe Biden, by the way, beat all of the other Democrats who at one point or another were in favor of Medicare for all, because his plan consistently polled better among Democratic primary voters, the people most enthusiastic about the party, than Bernie Sanders or any other version of Medicare for all. So already the strategy is based on bad intelligence. The idea that the American people or the majority of even Democrats are in favor of this healthcare change is completely wrong and based on misreading polling data. So they're operating on the premise that they can steamroll the establishment Democrats on this issue, when in reality they're not the majority of popular support on this issue, they're in the minority.
So the idea that we're in the minority and it's bad is on a faulty assumption. He doesn't understand. Sean 90 doesn't understand. Sean 90, this fucking guy. He doesn't understand negotiation tactics. You go up to somebody and you say, hey, I'll give you $1,000 for that. They'll say no. Then you say $1,100. Then, that's how negotiation works. But if I came up and I said $2,000, right, well, then he probably would have just said yes if I would have said $500. Anyways, you aim for the stars in hopes that at the very least you land on the moon. You aim for the stars. You aim for the mountaintop. The ideal, the goal, the vision, yeah, maybe utopia is not perfect, but that's the goal. And so we put Medicare for all, we force it for a vote, Nancy Pelosi says no, then we get Hakeem Jeffries in there. She says yes, now we got to vote. Now we got to up or down vote, just like that universal basic income, which is supposed to be, not universal, the $2,000 single check. On Monday, there's supposed to be a roll call vote with Nancy Pelosi. And right now we were supposed to get $600. Donald Trump has threatened to veto because he says we deserve $2,000. The American people deserve $2,000 checks. So because he is saying that we deserve $2,000 checks, and before it was $600, if a brand new deal is struck, we will get more money because he aimed higher than what was on the table. So we'll aim for the stars. We'll aim for Medicare for all in hopes that we'll get the public option. Will we get the public option? Is there any guarantee of this shit? I don't believe these corporatist motherfuckers. God, they was talking about health care in the 90s. Here it is, 2020. So yeah, this lame duck president demanded $2,000 and, I bet you if a new deal struck, it'll be a better one because he negotiated a higher number. That's how negotiation works. You come for M4A, and I'll settle for a public option, but I want Medicare for all. I want Bernie care, but it's Pramila-Care. Pramila Jayapal is the bill. H.R. 1384. Check it out, Sean 90. You haven't really done all your research.
Number two, even if this were to pass, even if Democrats in the House of Representatives voted for this and decided to go with the minority of the base of their party rather than the majority that are not in favor of Medicare for all, it wouldn't go anywhere. Mitch McConnell controls the Senate and President Trump is still in office.
Okay, so see this stupid motherfucker. He's pretending there's going to be a forced vote right now, and it's going to go to Donald. No, there's a brand new president, motherfucker. There's a brand new motherfucking president. That's the whole point. Brand new Congress, brand new president, brand new deal. So let's get a brand new speaker if she doesn't put Medicare for all. So he doesn't even understand the strategy. He's like, it's just going to go nowhere. It has no chance of winning whatsoever. Mitch McConnell's in the Senate. Donald's the president. This has no possibility.
Even if by some ungodly miracle this were to make it past the Senate, President Trump would likely veto it. So this is a completely pointless exercise that is only for symbolic points. It's not going to do anything of substance.
The women's right to vote got passed after a 1915 symbolic vote on the women's right to vote. It's going to do nothing. At the very least, you're going to primary the opponents, and at the very most, we'll get Medicare for all. Fucking Sean 90, goddamn.
To pass or forward the Medicare for All agenda. Number 3, there are 2 Senate runoff races in the state of Georgia that the Democrats need to win both of in order to have a majority in the United States Senate and be able to get any type of reform whatsoever passed, even the smallest, because then the Senate won't be controlled by Mitch McConnell. So this plan, even if it were to pass in the House of Representatives, would basically be taking a dump on those 2 Senate campaigns, because the Republicans would run on the Democrats trying to take over healthcare, trying to socialize the economy, and you're just giving them that gift prior to their runoff election, which the Democrats absolutely need in.
He's going to eventually talk more about the Georgia elections. I just want to point out the numbers, the likelihood of this passing. The Democrats control the House. If the Democrats win the 2 Georgia Senate elections, then I believe it'll be 50-50. It's 50-48 right now. So if it's 50-50, that still doesn't mean they control things. 50-50, I guess the vice president is the tiebreaker. So yeah, 50-50 would get the control into the Democrats' hand, but just fucking barely. But yeah, if we get the House and we get the Senate, what's the problem? And if we get the House and we don't get the Senate, all we got to do is convince 2 or 3 Republicans to get on board, and then we got the Senate. This is a coin toss. At the very best, we can get Medicare for all. At the very worst, it's a 50-50 chance. Flip a coin, heads or tails. Are we going to get it or not?
In order for Joe Biden and the House of Representatives to get anything done at all. And finally, if the Democrats do not pass...
In order to get anything done at all, if they just want a single-party rule, yeah, that's maybe true. But if they want to get anything done, all they got to do is get peel a couple Republicans off. 2 or 3 Republicans in the Senate. Dems have the House. That's where, I think the budget and the bills and impeachment, that's where everything starts. So we can get all this stuff started. And we got friends in the Senate. I don't know, man. I think you're really undercutting the possibilities here.
Pass this, then the progressive base of the Democratic Party is going to be really pissed off because they're the ones who actually want Medicare for all, and even though they are a minority of the Democratic Party, the fact is the Georgia Senate races are expected to be incredibly close, and having those people be non-enthusiastic about the candidates and not potentially getting Medicare for all will likely lead to a certain percentage of them not showing up for these runoffs, and these runoffs are already set up poorly for Democrats who tend to vote in major presidential elections more than these minor statewide elections, or what are seen to be minor statewide elections, even though this, of course, will determine whether or not the Democrats have full control of the federal government or just partial control, and the Republicans can hold back the Democratic agenda. So yeah, while I don't like Cenk Uygur or Jimmy Dore, it's important to point out that Jimmy Dore is significantly dumber than Cenk Uygur when it comes to this argument. He's
dumber. He's not just wrong on this, policy point or the strategic point, but his IQ is he's stupider. He is just really dumb and slow and stupid and
He's fighting for nothing. He's fighting for a symbolic victory.
He's fighting for nothing. So he hates the idea. He's pissed off at the idea. He's convinced himself that he's actually a good person, and he's selflessly explaining how it's a terrible strategy. But again, this is a right-winger. Just like Destiny, a right-winger. You're going to have all these right-wingers tell me the exact same shit that Cenk and David Schroeder and Roland Martin, Josh Fox and Vosh and Tamsin, Shaw and Jamie Elizabeth, Eric Levitz. You're going to tell these people are saying the same shit that the right-wingers are saying. You know who we can trust? Nico House, Kyle Kalinske, Tim Black, Brianna Joy Gray, Cornell West, Lee Kemp, Graham Elwood, Ron Placone, Marianne Williamson, David Dole, Caitlin Johnstone, Ryan Knight, The Status Quo, Tammy's Diary, Richard Medhurst, Humanist Report, David Dole, Mark of the Beast, Mike McRae, Jill Stein, Orella Isabel, Johnny Tsunami, Vanguard, Max Blumenthal, Eleanor Goldfield, Jesse Ventura, Justin Jackson, Richard Wolf. Thanks everybody, probably skipped a name or two, but I don't know, man. Seems like everybody realizes it's a good common sense, obvious idea. This is where the conversation should have began months ago if we didn't have this fear of fucking around with the presidency.
And just throwing bombs at all of his old friends, even though what he's trying to do will have no positive impact for the Democratic Party.
So he says there will be no positive impacts. We could get Medicare for all, right? Either today or 5 years down the road. And about the argument about it's going to fuck up the Georgia Senate election. So first he says public option isn't it's not Medicare for all. It's public option. That's what's popular. Shut the fuck up, you're wrong. And then he says it's going to go nowhere, because Donald Trump is president. We're assuming, Joe Biden is going to be president, and it's going to be for the new Congress, and it's going to be for the new president. This is a completely new day, completely new deal, completely new thing. He's acting like, Donald will just veto it. Right. And Joe Biden said he'd veto it too, and he's for the public option. So it seems like if we push for M4A, we'll definitely get the public option and maybe even get Medicare for all. So the Georgia elections. Why doesn't this fuck up the Georgia elections? Because the Georgia elections are hyper-partisan elections to begin with. Both camps are going, 100 miles an hour, appealing to their base, talking about the issues, the popular issues. And so David Perdue, Kelly Loeffler, they hate health care. They're going to get rid of health care. And then both Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock are both in favor of health care. So who would vote against health care during a pandemic besides, Sean 90? He would vote against health care during a pandemic. And so would David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, who's a mannequin psycho. But Jon Ossoff and Raphael, the Reverend Warnock, they're campaigning for universal health care. So whether it's public option or Medicare for all, remains to be seen. But they're talking about health care being a human right, how we need health care, and it's in a pandemic. So, yeah, Ossoff and Warnock are not going to lose. They're already talking about health care, so this isn't going to fuck up the Georgia Senate elections. My God, little Jimmy Dore, that little jagoff comedian, he's going to fuck up the entire runoff elections in Georgia and just hand the Senate off to the Republican. That's what fighting for the issues we believe in. That's what happens when we fight for the issues we believe in. So that's just like your opinion, man. You think that Jimmy Dore's forced to vote is going to fuck up the Georgia Senate runoff elections during a pandemic? I don't think so. Medicare for all is a winning issue for many brand new Congress folks. They ran on Medicare for all and they won their election. So let's see. We got hyperpartisan elections, right? Medicare for all. They're already talking about Medicare for all. Since they're hyper-partisan races, they really can't be radical enough. It's more exciting that way, but it's like a civil war. Whoever can get most of their own people out to the polls, they're not trying to appeal to the moderate at all. Last but not least, the reason why pushing for Medicare for all will fuck up the Georgia Senate runoff elections. You had that Warnock, Raphael Warnock, and this is, dirty politics, but Tucker Carlson released a video where Raphael Warnock's wife had said that she got her foot ran over by the car that, the husband was driving, the guy running for office, Raphael Warnock. So the Reverend apparently, they're having an argument. She's standing in behind the car. He thought she was cleared. He backed up. She starts screaming. The EMS didn't see no bruises or scratches or redness, no markings whatsoever. If a car ran over your foot, so she's screaming, right, oh, you ran over my foot. And he doesn't believe that it happened. But that could fuck up his election. That's something that would fuck up an election. Pushing for Medicare for all? No, that's exactly what I want a Democrat to fight for. So, yeah, I am Sean 90. He's 100% wrong on everything he's ever said in his entire life. He's libertarian, so we agree on half the things, but don't listen to strategy. Don't listen to the right wing when it comes to strategy and tactics about how to get what you want. They're not there for you. They don't believe in your ideas, so therefore they're not going to give you, the scaffolding and the support that you need in order to get the ideas that they disagree with in your head passed. There's no way.
After all these years, I'm finally in charge. Me, Joe Biden, the most important man in the world. My first 100 days are coming, and I can't wait to take the swift, bold action needed to get this country back on the brass tacks. Get ready, fasten your seatbelts, and watch out, world, because here I come.
Hey, oh, Joe, are you awake? Hello, did you fall asleep?
What's with all the racket? Who ordered the veal cutlet?
You were just telling the world about your first 100 days, Joe.
You got that straight, Jackson. Guess what?
What?
I picked a gay guy for Secretary of Transportation. His name's Pete Buttigieg. You know him? We're restoring the soul of our great nation's roads and bridges with a gay mayor person. A gayer.
That's great. Now, how about forcing a vote on Medicare for all? And you could easily use Section
Jim Earl,
1881A.
voiced by
Security
Mike McRae.
All Americans Medicare for free during the pandemic. Did you know you could do that?
Get out of here. Stop it with this malarkey performance art. Pay attention to the gay transport secretary. Don't you get it? He's Secretary of Transportation. He's gay. He's gay. It's a great millstone.
Milestone.
Gay, will you please shut up? Don't you see what's going to happen? He's going to ensure federal transportation projects improve access to wine cave opportunities, facilitate collaboration with interstate wine caves, improve connectivity of our rails with wine caves, repair our roads so our country's wine caves have equal access to wine cave commerce. We're building the back better for all. And he's gay.
But why? But why Pete Buttigieg?
Have you seen South Bend sidewalks? I'm on the record praising Pete's sidewalks. Look at his sidewalks, you dumb twat.
Everything this guy says is inappropriate. Everything this guy says is inappropriate. It's hilarious. Everything he says. You can't talk like that, Joe.
I'm fucking president, you limp biscuit bonehead. I can do whatever the hell Joe wants. I've got another two strokes left in me before Joe takes over. So saddle me up my big white goose.
What happens if you have another aneurysm during
Saddle
your first 100 days?
I pledge not to have one during my first 100 days. Look at my record, man. We're bringing back normalcy.
Yeah.
4 years ago, under the Biden-Obama presidency, our main worries were Hatchimals and nuclear war. It's time to return to those salad bar days. My wife's a doctor. She knows the score. Don't say she's not a doctor. She's a doctor of educating. She knows all about birthing Hatchimals. It'll be all right. Don't worry.
You're filling up your cabinet with Wall Street executives and Raytheon board members. Where's Bernie Sanders and Liz Warren and all this?
Shut up about my son. I love my son. Hunter has problems like millions of other sons of vice presidents. But he's fixed it. If you don't like my son, then you ain't a father. Secondly, we're going to cure cancer. But we simply cannot cure cancer when everybody's getting free health care. It just can't be done. So here's the thing. I promise you the least worst period in American history. And by God, I'm going to fulfill that promise if it kills every last one of you. That is my pledge. Now draw my bath and fetch the Hatchables, Mabel. My normalcy needs cleansing.
Jimmy Dore, force the vote. Peace.